Hey, Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. Y'all do me a favor and please hit that like button. Now let's get into the mess. Okay, you guys, this is breaking news. The judge in the Diddy case has signed an order. I'm reading it the first time just like you. I just logged into Pacer, so I don't know what this order says, but you see it on the screen. We're getting it in real time. I have no clue. So I'm kind of hearing it's bad news, but I don't know for sure. So anyway, let's go through this document. So as you can see, this was filed 8/4/25. So, all the stuff that you heard last week about whatever the judge had ruled inaccurate. This is the order as of today. Remember, there have been multiple filings. The government came and Diddy's team was asking the judge to let him out for the before the sentencing, and then the government responded, giving reasons why he should not be let out, and all. There was a lot of back and forth, maybe about 4 or 5 documents filed. So this is the latest today. So it says order against Sean Combs' defendant, Arun Subramanian, United States District Judge. So you guys, I'm gonna scroll and let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, defendant Sean Combs renews his request for bail pending his sentencing. On this application, Combs doesn't contest that detention is mandatory for his crimes of conviction. He relies solely on the limited exception to mandatory detention where, number one, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence that the person is not likely to flee or pose a danger to the safety of any other person or the community if released. And they cite the civil code sections. And there are 2 exceptional reasons why such person's detention would not be appropriate. Exceptional reasons exist where there is a unique combination of circumstances giving rise to situations that are out of the ordinary. United States versus blah, 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 on their site, citing case law. This statutory framework creates a presumption in favor of detention that places a plainly substantial burden of proof on the defendant seeking release. And then they cite another case. Let's go down. As for risk of flight or danger, Combs fails to meet his burden by clear and convincing evidence for the reasons set forth on the record at the July 2nd, 2025 hearing. Increasing the amount of the bond or devising additional conditions doesn't change the calculus given the circumstances and heavy burden of proof that Combs bears. And then they cite, at the trial, defense conceded that the defendant's violence in his personal relationships, this type of violence, which happens behind closed doors, is impossible to police with conditions. Okay, so basically they're using his words against him when the defense team said that he was violent. I mean, they admitted to that. On this basis alone, Combs' application is denied. Damn, he's saying just on the fact that you guys admitted that he has a history of violence, that in and of itself is enough to not give you bail. Even if the flight or danger requirement was satisfied, there are no exceptional reasons warranting a departure from what Congress has required. Combs' Mann Act arguments might have traction in a case that didn't involve evidence of violence, coercion, or subjugation in the connection with the acts of prostitution at issue. But the record here contains evidence of all 3. Wow. While Combs may contend at sentencing that this evidence should be discounted and that what happened was nothing more than a case of willing swingers utilizing the voluntary services of escorts for their mutual pleasure, the government takes the opposite view that Cassie Ventura and Jane were beaten, coerced, threatened, lied to, and victimized by Combs as part of their participation in these events. That makes this case unlike any of the cases Combs points to and places it outside of the narrow exception to detention that Congress otherwise deemed mandatory. To be clear, as indicated at the July 2nd hearing, the court offers no view as to how the parties' competing arguments about the evidence will cash out for purposes of sentencing, which is happening in just 60 days. At this juncture, however, the record doesn't establish the kind of out-of-the-ordinary exceptional circumstances requiring immediate release. So there you have it. I mean, it's a no. Combs also points to squalor and danger at the MDC, conditions that he says have been aggravated by federal government's aggressive budget cuts. The public outcry concerning these conditions has come from all corners, but as Combs acknowledges, NDC staff has been able to keep him safe and attend to his needs, even during an incident of threatened violence from an inmate in the United States versus Chavez. The court found that the conditions at the MDC rose to the level of exceptional reasons warranting release where it was undisputed and that the defendant posed no risk of flight or danger, and where unique circumstances counseled release, including the defendant's advantage, age, and serious medical conditions which require care that the MDC may not be able to revive. Those facts are not present here. Okay, so he's saying whatever they cited, but with the Chavez case, don't apply here. And nothing in Chavez suggests that exceptional reasons warrant release for every person awaiting sentencing in the MDC. Rather, the MDC is a factor, admittedly a serious one, to consider along with others in making that determination. For these reasons, as well as those stated on the record at the July 2nd hearing, Combs fails to satisfy his burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release. The motion for bail is denied. The clerk of court is directed to terminate docket 483. So it is ordered. So the denial of bail is it's official, and it's dated today, August 4th, 2025. And a lot of people already said that they didn't think that there had been enough, that he had done enough, that there wasn't any substantial change from July 2nd. I mean, there's only a month. We know that he had taken those classes, but they didn't see that there had been a substantial change that would probably make the judge change his mind in his decision. And based on what he's reporting here, because he keeps referring back to the level of violence, makes me believe that he's going to lean on the longer end of sentencing when it comes to sentencing Diddy. So anyway, you guys jump in the comments. You heard it here. The order for bail is in, and Diddy's bail has been denied for the early release. So he will be in there until sentencing. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.